Thank you for joining us on Times TV with me, George Misinde. First, the headlines. Farmers may take time to sell their produce to ADMAC following plans to only allow 50 farmers per day in its markets due to COVID-19. The country's prisons register over 80 cases of COVID-19 and the cases are expected to continue rising. Malawi is expected to receive 192,000 COVID-19 vaccines next week Thursday. We have these and many other stories. Stay tuned. Thank you for joining us. Farmers may take time to sell their produce to Agriculture Development and Marketing Corporation ADMAC following revelations that the Stern grain marketer will only allow 50 farmers per day in its markets. ADMAC says it has made this decision as a preventive measure to avoid further spread of COVID-19. But agriculture expert Nkhani has proposed that ADMAC should create an open market where a large number of farmers can be accommodated. Blessings Mpinganjira reports.
ADMAC spokesperson Agnes Ndovi says the restriction comes following the newly announced COVID-19 measures that government has put in place. She says the restrictions will be applied in all its markets across the country.
Every market of ours at the entrance, there'll be a bucket of water which we're enforcing the people to wash their hands before they get into our premises. But also we're serving people per tranches, 50 people that go, so that we meet the distancing issue so that people are not congested in our markets.
On the other hand, agriculture expert Nkhani has asked ADMAC to open more markets where farmers can be accommodated. Mvula has warned that the direction ADMAC has taken may affect the procurement process of the farm produce.
ADMAC should not restrict itself to warehouses and rooms and all. They can do an open air market which can accommodate a lot of people. If it's an open air on the ground, I think a lot more people would be saved.
Government set 150 waja minimum price for buying maize. World Health Organization has warned that Malawi now has the Indian wave of COVID-19.
The country's prisons have registered 84 cases of COVID-19. 8 of these cases are inmates and 4 are prison staff. Malawi Prison Service spokesperson Chimwemwe confirmed the figures and added that Maula Prison is being used as an isolation center for all prisons in the central region. Blessings Mpinganjira reports.
Malawi Prison Service spokesperson Chimwemwe confirmed the figures and added that Maula Prison is used as an isolation center for all prisons in the central region. He said other preventive measures have also come into force to be observed by both prisoners and the staff.
Currently we have 84 active cases, for which 8 are inmates and 4 are members of staff.
Meanwhile, Minister of Health Kumbizeka Ndodo says the new vaccine will arrive in the country on Thursday next week. Malawi Health Equity Network Executive Director George Jobe has described as sad reports that the prison has been hit by COVID-19. Since last year, Malawi Prison Service has recorded a total of 903 COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths.
Minister of Health Kumbizeka Ndodo has announced that Malawi will receive 192,000 COVID-19 vaccines next week Thursday. The minister disclosed this in an interview with Times on Saturday. Rebecca Jimjeka has compiled this report read by Fali Banda.
The announcement comes as Malawi's COVID cases are rising every day. Chiponda says the vaccines have been sourced by UNICEF.
The whole essence of saying you should get vaccinated is that when you get vaccinated, it improves your immune system in the body, so that when you're exposed to the COVID-19 virus, you do not get severe symptoms, or indeed you don't even reach to the point whereby you need to be hospitalized because of the immune system from the vaccination.
According to Chiponda, research by her minister shows that the majority of COVID-19 patients admitted in hospitals in Malawi are people who have not been vaccinated. She says out of the 227 admissions between June 26 and 8th July this year, 225 have not received the vaccination. Malawi received its first batch of 360,000 AstraZeneca vaccines in March from the United Nations COVAX facility. So far, over 1,000 people have died of COVID in the country.
State House says the Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority Board leadership will not be fired as expected by many following President Lazarus Chakwera's outbursts in light of his decision to have a 2-week orientation in Dubai. But activists have since urged President Chakwera to be decisive and act on his words. Deogracious Mana has compiled this report, read by Blessings Mpinganjira.
When he launched the second phase of the National Fiber Backbone Project on June 25, 2021 in Lilongwe, President Chakwera told Minister of Information, Gospel Kazako, in the face that he was disappointed by the board's decision to spend a lot of money on a capacity building outside the country when it was possible to do the same locally. Chakwera said the macro leadership needed to change immediately. But State House Press Secretary Brian Banda has told Times that President Chakwera did not say that the Macra board leadership should be fired. He said the president expects the leader of the board to change approach and mindset in his administration. But Human Rights Defenders Coalition chairperson Gift Trapens told Times that Chakwera should not hide behind semantics but fire the entire Macra board. Macra blew over 50 million kwacha on the 2-week orientation in Dubai.
Police in Mzuzu say mobility challenges remain one of the factors contributing to the rise in crime in the city. Mzuzu Police Station has only 2 vehicles serving a population of over 200,000. Sam Kalimira reports.
Mzuzu Police Station has 4 police units of Luinga, Zorozoro, Chivavi and Mchengotua, but all without vehicles to help in operations. Police officers walk distances when they are following up cases, especially when the only 2 good vehicles are being used by Mzuzu Police Station. This, according to Mchengotua Police Unit Officer in Charge Lingston Ndovi, is compromising security operations.
It's a challenge. As we are aware, Mchengotua Police Unit, our policing area is too big. As such, we depend much on the vehicle from parent station, which is Mzuzu Police Station, which is not enough. Therefore, should others come in to assist us with maybe vehicles, that's the better.
Meanwhile, Grand Palace Hotel has donated chairs, stationery and face masks as one way of addressing some of the challenges Mchengotua Police Unit is going through. Grand Palace Hotel manager Sam Piri said security is key if the country is to have more investors in the tourism sector.
As Grand Palace Hotel, we felt that the police lacks some resources like chairs, stationery. Yeah, as you might be aware, we are within the police is within our locality, about just 200 meters away from where we are. So they are the ones that provide us security at the hotel and within the community. So we felt that we needed to assist this police unit.
Minister of Homeland Security Richard Chimwendo Banda recently said the government will make sure that police officers and other security institutions are given proper resources for better services.
Reserve Bank of Malawi wired money amounting to 1 trillion kwacha in a single day in June last year to various local commercial banks. The transfer took place on the 26th of June 2020, just a day before President Lazarus Chakwera was declared winner of the fresh presidential election. Minister of Finance Felix Mulusu says his ministry is investigating the transfer. Rebecca Chimjega has compiled this report, read by Fali Banda.
This revelation comes in the face of allegations of impropriety among senior management at the central bank at the time, which recently led to the arrest of former Governor Dalitso Kabambi, Deputy Governor Henry Matanga, and Senior Leader Financial Marketing Operations Leah Ndonga, who are currently out on bail. The transaction is one of those under investigation at the central bank, according to the central bank spokesperson Onilile Nkuna. Nkuna said the matter is related to the forensic audit that was carried out at the bank. It is not clear whether due diligence process was made as said transfer was allegedly done in the early hours of 26 June 2020. A recent audit report at the bank covering period between January 1, 2019 and June 30, 2020 shows that some government ministries, departments and agencies and local commercial banks were embroiled in suspicious payments.
Communities surrounding traditional authority Kalonga in Salima will now be able to access maternal and neonatal services following the construction of a community health facility in the area. The Evangelical Lutheran Church recently handed over the facility, igniting hope among the communities. Leader of the church, Bishop Joseph Vumbwe, says communities were walking too long distance to access healthcare services at Salima District Hospital. Audrey Kapalamula reports.
According to Bishop Vumbwe, bringing the facility closer to the communities guarantees access to healthcare services. He expresses hope that with the infrastructure, the district hospital will be able to fully service the people.
We are very happy and thankful to God that we have handed over to the village this center. But we are also handing over in the same way to the Area Development Committee as well as the District Health Office so that they can come here and service the people here with the health activities.
Salima District Community Development Officer Brighton Chunda has hailed the church for complementing government's efforts of bringing health services closer to people.
We will make sure that the health department uses the structure effectively, especially on the weighing, plotting and graphing of under 5 children, as well as all other feeding programs that takes place in an area.
Chigumugire Community Health Facility is expected to help improving the lives of women and children in the area.
Malawi's life expectancy is at around 63 years, and hitting 100 years is without doubt a rare occurrence. But one Gogoneli Muntali from Nkhani in Mzimba North is one Malawian living in rare times as he has celebrated her 100th birthday. Gogo Muntali shares with us her secret in this report by Sam Kalimira.
Gogo Neri Muntali was born on 4 July 1921 around Madise area in Mzimba North. She is one of the few senior citizens in the country to clock a century. Gogo Muntali, an eloquent speaker, is still strong, can cook and do selective household chores, and interestingly, she can dance. But what is her secret?
My secret is Jesus Christ. I know Jesus, and I always rely on my Bible, and I've managed to reach 100 years. All this is because of him. I have also raised my children to grow up in the way of the Lord.
Sadly, she fears people would mistake her for a witch, having lived for a century now. Her only son, Johnston Kumwenda, said people should learn to love and respect the elderly as they are wells of wisdom.
In this village, people do tend to live long, and therefore it's not strange for us to have an old person within our village. And therefore we don't take it to mean that if you are old, you must have something sinister with you. That's not our thinking in this village.
Her granddaughter, Rachel Kumwenda, is also proud.
We are so excited for this day. It's a rare occasion to have Malawians. We hear of a few Malawians who get up to 100. We know of other countries like Japan, people get up to 100, 120. But it's very rare, like in Malawi here, to have a lot of people get to 100 years. So for us, it's a special thing that our granny is now 100 years old, and we are so excited.
The family organized a special birthday to celebrate with their grandmother, where they made merry and gave her gifts.
Times Group has handed over a motorbike to Brian Chintengo in Cholo district, who won the prize in its Changu Pamalo promotion. Chintengo says he sent 18 texts to win the bike. Alfred Kanjere is the Times radio and television advertising manager.
Our objectives were twofold. Firstly, we wanted to give back to the community, and secondly, we wanted to publicize 1895. 1895 is a short code that people can use to communicate with Times Group. For now, you can send the word Times to 1895 to subscribe for breaking news and news updates. So it's a very important number. As you are aware, there's a lot of fake news now. So if you subscribe to 1895 and get breaking news, you'll be getting authentic and credible news.
Some of the U.S. COVID relief packages are aimed at keeping tenants who can't pay their rent from being evicted. That relief was supposed to end in July. But in California, the state government just agreed to give those tenants more time. More in this VOA report.
Because of the coronavirus pandemic, Jalen Bailey lost her job and ended up being unable to pay her rent. And she is one of more than 500,000 people in California who found themselves in that situation.
We live every day with uncertainty. That's the overwhelming feeling, is uncertainty, and it's extremely hard to focus on anything else.
To prevent mass evictions, California put a moratorium on evictions and has a special program that helps tenants pay their rent.
Anyone who has been affected by the pandemic, either a loss of income or an increase in expenses, can apply for this funding.
Elena Pop with the Eviction Defense Network helps tenants fight for their rights. She is grateful that the state recently extended the eviction moratorium. But she says many landlords are still working to evict old tenants on technicalities, hoping to charge new tenants higher rates.
It is landlords that are refusing to cooperate, primarily landlords whose tenants are paying less than they could get if they can evict that tenant and put in someone new and charge whatever the market will bear now for the unit. So we have tons of clients who have filled out the application, the landlord's not doing their part.
But landlords also complain about the situation. They say a lot of tenants are not filing the applications so that the landlords can get relief.
In order for me to get my money, I need to do something seemingly impossible. On the one hand, I shouldn't approach my tenants and force them to do anything. I can't evict them. And on the other hand, if I want to get my money, I need to make sure they fill out the form.
Landlords can't get loans if banks see their tenants are unable to pay rent. The result is that many can't expand their businesses and some even go bankrupt. Another obstacle is that not all tenants qualify for government help, and many realize it when it's too late.
Tenants either don't apply or they have applied and they're not qualified because they make too much money, and they simply just have chosen not to another extension. We've already been here 3 times with the initial law and 2 extensions. California has created over 100,000 new jobs. You see in the front of most all businesses that they're hiring. It's time to get back to work and it's time to pay your rent.
In the meantime, state authorities are busy distributing the funds allocated for the aid program, an unprecedented $7 billion. For Angelina Bagdasaryan in Los Angeles, California, Anna Rice, VOA News.
Well, that's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines again. Farmers may take time to sell their produce to ADMARC, following plans to only allow 50 farmers per day in its markets due to COVID-19. The country's prisons register over 80 cases of COVID-19, with cases expected to continue rising. The country is expected to receive 192,000 COVID-19 vaccines next week, Thursday. Remember, you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, liking our Facebook page, Times 360 Malawi, and following us on Twitter at Times 360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, and mask up. Please stay safe. You've been with me, George Misinde.